Hey guys, if you've yet to use the Captions feature in Premiere Pro, I suggest you check it out. I'm kind of slow when it comes to updating my programs, but I finally updated to 2021 and I'm giving it a shot. So I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of how to actually use this. So the first thing you want to do is open up Premiere and go to your project window and import a clip. So I'm going to click on this one of this pastor talking to his congregation, and it drops my clip in here. The next thing I want to do is just drag this to my little sequence button down here and let go. It'll create a sequence based on that clip. So here you can hear him talking.
Stories that are familiar or stories that we hear repeated over and over again.
So what we want to do is make captions out of that. So once your clip is in the timeline, there's a couple ways you can get to the Captions feature. One is by clicking up here where it says Captions, this little tab, and that'll change your whole window around to where you have a few features for essential graphics and things. But the other way is to go to Window and go down to Text, and that'll just show your Captions window right there. So in this window, it gives you a couple options. I'm going to ignore the bottom two, and we're just going to click on Transcribe Sequence. And this window pops up, and we can keep audio track all this the same. Don't really need to do anything different here. We don't have any in and out points, so we can leave that. And all this is fine, and we can hit transcribe. This is just a simple pass at doing this. There's some other features you may want to use if you have multiple speakers, but for now, this is just the basics. So give that a minute to process, and then you'll have new captions. So once the transcribing is done, then it gives you a script of what your captions are. So you can just go and just double check, make sure the text is all right, and you can go in there and change it if you need to. For now, we'll assume this is all right, but here is everything looks fine to me. So the next step is just to hit Create Captions up here at the top. This window will pop up, and we're pretty much going to keep everything the same. Subtitle, default, style. We don't have any styles set right now. All this we'll just keep the same for now. Lines, we'll do double lines just in case, and hit Create. And boom, now we have some captions down here at the bottom. I'm going to zoom into my timeline, and I'll hit spacebar to check it out.
Stories that are familiar or stories that we hear repeated over and over again or stories that we heard as a child.
Once the captions are done, it sort of breaks them down based on the lines that have separated. You can close these spaces in if you need to. I don't really like when it disappears and goes away, but you can go ahead and close that in. And so now you can actually change the style of these. So I'm just going to double click on one of these, and that's going to bring up the Essential Graphics window. I'm just going to go to the Edit tab right there, and now I can adjust pretty much everything about these captions. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and highlight all of my captions like that, just clicking and dragging. And now if I make some changes in the Essential Graphics window, it'll update all of them. So we'll keep our color white. We'll change our background to have a block behind it. We'll change that color to this pinkish red color. We'll extend the padding around the text so that it has a little more space on that box. We'll round those corners. We'll turn off the text shadow, and we'll change our font to something a little more clean. Typically, captions live at the bottom of the page, but you can move them around anywhere by using this little grid, or you can move it manually by clicking these buttons here. Now, if you're familiar with what we make sermon recap templates for churches to use, but creating those subtitles can be a little bit time consuming, but this is a lot quicker. However, a lot of our stuff is built in After Effects. Let me show you a quick and easy way to get these subtitles to After Effects. The first thing I want to do, highlight all of my captions and center them. And now turn off your clip. From here, go to File, Export, Media. This window pops up, and you want to make sure you go to Captions, Export Options, Burn Captions into Video. Now there are ways to create this file that you wouldn't have a background. You would have a transparent background, but it'll make a massive file size, and here we can easily get rid of the black in After Effects. So I'm going to select H.264, match source high bitrate is fine. We'll rename it Captions, and we'll hit Export. If you've ever used one of our sermon recap templates, you just import your footage, drag it into this comp, and your clip appears. So we'll quickly change our title, and I'm going to turn the captions feature off that's inside of After Effects. The next step will be to import the captions file you made from Premiere. So for me, I think I want to use the story version of look number 2. So I'm going to go to look number 2, story, double click, and I'm going to drag my captions file into the composition, scale it down, move it into place, and now we got to get rid of that pesky black box. With that layer selected, I'm going to go to Effect, Keying, Extract. From here, I just need to adjust this black point setting just a little bit, somewhere around 25, 26. And there we have it. So we knocked out the captions pretty quickly, loaded it into After Effects to a nice little style, and we're done. So we hope that was helpful for you. If you want to know more about these templates, you can visit us at pixelpreacher.net, or you can learn more design tutorials at youtube.com/pixelpreacher. Thanks a lot. Bye.